Okay. Got the car packed up, off on our little adventure to find, I think, the country's largest peace sign that is in Owego, New York. That one of the guys obviously made out of a field in the back of his property. So we're gonna go and do a little bit of droning on that before September 21st. Leonard is his name, and he asked me to come down and bring my drone, so I'm gonna do that, and hopefully it'll be a good time. Owego, New York was settled around 1786. It's located in Tioga County and is about 20 minutes west of Binghamton, New York, which is in Broome County. It has a population of about 20,000, and the name Owego is derived from an Iroquois name meaning where the valley widens, and hopefully you'll see a little bit of that in the video. And a fun fact, in 2009, Owego was voted the coolest small town in America by Budget Travel magazine. Yeah, so we're gonna go check it out, check out the peace sign real quick, and then come back, and then we're gonna pop the drone up, get a view of that. All right, so bring a phone. Camera. Got that. Keys. All sorts of good stuff. Okay. So here we are at the peace sign behind the Schoolhouse Antiques here in Owego, New York. I'm gonna go check it out. Got something in my shoe already. Okay. So this looks like it's it right here. Carved out of the old football field right there. The old goalposts. So, going to the center of the peace sign. A lot of birds up in that cell tower. Another little potential hazard, I guess. But here's the center of the peace sign right here. It's pretty cool. I can hear the birds. Wow. Kind of nice. Okay. One part of it. Another part. Alright. I'm glad I checked it out first. I didn't realize the cell towers were so close. Definitely need to keep that in mind. Just won't fly over that way. Especially with the guide wires on that one. Alright. Deer prints. Well, let's go get the MP2 and pop that up. See what we got. Off of the MP2. Now, as I was swinging around towards the peace sign, I really had no idea how big it was, and I was going up and up and up and back, and I was really wondering whether or not I was going to get the whole sign in, because I was starting to approach that 400 AGL mark. But I did, and it turned out to be a pretty impressive sight to see from that height, really. And so one of the first things I did when I got up there is I circled around and measured the two cell towers to see how tall they were, and the one was 130 feet and the other was 170 feet. So I figure if I'm flying over on that side, if I stay above about 200 feet, I would be fine. You know, no issues whatsoever. And next to the peace sign, I found out there's a little railroad yard, and that railroad yard is the Owego Hartford Railway, which runs between Owego and Hartford Mills, New York. It's about 27 miles long. So I flew around the peace sign a bit, making sure I stayed well above those two towers, and got some interesting views and some nice pictures for Facebook and Instagram. And then it came time to get an orbit all the way around. Now, I'm not bad with orbits, but this is a big piece, no pun intended, of real estate, and I really wanted it to look nice and smooth and even, so you can probably tell that this is software assisted. So thanks, DJI. Now, the peace sign has a birth date of February 21st, 1958, and it was originally a symbol for nuclear disarmament. It was made for the campaign for nuclear disarmament back in the late 50s. Now, since then, it's migrated to the States in the early 60s and became really a centerpiece for the U.S. involvement in Vietnam, and has matured from that to being an international sign of peace. And on September 21st, in just a few days from now, we'll celebrate International Day of Peace in hopes of world peace. So hopefully, no matter where you are on that day, you can stop and stand at noon and celebrate, take a moment to celebrate world peace. Now, before celebrating world peace, I guess what do you do with a peace sign that is in the middle of a old football field? Well, I guess you kind of slowly line up your shot, get ready for the punt, aim, and give it a kick and hope you don't hit anything. Yeah, this is a little sped up, so I really didn't have any fear of hitting anything, but nevertheless, kind of made for a little bit of a fun ending to that part of the video. Whereas the next part is checking out the Owego Schoolhouse antiques, and this is where the Peace Festival will be held on the 21st. The building is an old schoolhouse in Owego that was converted to house really nothing but antiques. It is the largest indoor antique retailer in New York State, which honestly I didn't know that was really so close. There is a lot of space in this old school. It is really interesting inside, and if anybody is ever in the area, going through the area, it is definitely worth a stop and visit to see what they have inside. It's kind of like a little history museum in a way. It can kind of take you back to different eras, even back to the 1800s with some of the old, carriages and woodwork that they have inside. Now, getting back to the peace sign, Leonard, which is the gentleman who's created and maintaining the peace sign, has been doing that with his old Ford tractor, aptly named the Peace Baby, making a peace sign for global world peace. And yeah, I know, maybe a little cheesy, hence the globe on top of the tractor, but there it is, the Peace Baby, and an instrument that is being used to create and maintain the world's largest organic peace sign. So, as with much at the antique store, it's a piece of equipment that has probably seen better days, but it's now being repurposed for something good, now called, again, the Peace Baby, making an attempt for global world peace in its own little way. And I'm hoping that a lot of people do come out and celebrate on the 21st, really to embody nothing but peace and love and celebrate that. There's going to be music, food, a lot of good fun, fellowship, perhaps make a few new friends, and hey, you never know what might happen. Okay, Owego does have their peace bell, and that was made by the Jones and Company, the Troy Bell Foundry in Troy, New York. That's located outside of Albany. This bell is 1877. 10 years later, the foundry would close, and these bells are typically made out of bronze. And at noon, Leonard will come out and he will ring the bell.